Hi guys, welcome back to my kitchen. Trisha here. Forgot to turn the mic on here, so I'm just doing a wee bit of a voiceover at the start of this video. Just showing you this mango chutney, a big 5 kilogram pot I'd got of it. And when I was up at the Asian supermarket, I seen this and I thought it's too good a deal to miss. It was like £11.50 for that big 5 litres. So it was taking up a lot of room in my fridge, and I thought I need to get this out of the fridge and get it into smaller jars. So with me not canning very long, I had a reference books to get timings, and that would be probably my go-to book. Then also referenced the Ball Home Preserving book, and here I've just got the jars in the oven. It's on quite low heat, just 100 degrees centigrade, just to get some heat into them. And just checking the canner here, just checking my water level is up at the 3 litre mark, the first little line, and also that my spacer rack's in. You don't want to be putting jars straight under the bottom of the pot. So thought the best idea was to heat this up, hence the warm jars in the oven, and it would loosen this up a good bit for me. It'd be easier to get into the jars. So basically I'm just fighting with it here to get it into the pot. Very gloopy and very sticky. Probably the ratio of sugar in it. But I do manage and I get it all scraped out. Don't leave anything in there. You know, it's quite a lot of mango chutney for that amount of money. The smaller jars you would buy, I would reckon you're talking £3 to £4, and they wouldn't last up that long. So hopefully this will produce a good lot of jars of mango for the shelf. I'm just getting it scraped down there. You can see I get it pretty clean. Don't like to waste anything. And even scrape the lid down. And you'll see further on that I actually managed to get a wee bit of the paper ring that was in that. I actually found it in the pot, which is a good job. You wouldn't want that on it. And that's just going to recycling. So I'll just get my hands washed. Don't like working with sticky hands. And it's always a good idea if you're in the kitchen to have a big bowl of soapy water at hand. Just getting the matches there to light the burner on the little camp stove I always use is my go-to. It's a wee gas stove, and I've had it for donkey's years. Not the prettiest of things, but it works fine and I wouldn't be without it. So I just want to put it on a medium-low flame there, just to bring the water up to a bit of a heat, not even a simmer. Just in the heat down there, I think I had it up too high. And just doing the usual checks on my lid, just checking the gasket, checking the lock switch is tight, and the wee plug at the back there. And I think I also check the gauge, but I'll not be using it as a gauge because I'm actually going to steam can in this canner. Just checking the pipe, just look through it towards the window to make sure you can see daylight. Let's just let all the steam out. I'm just saying there, I'm not using the gauge today, but I'm just going to stick the lid on just to give give the pot more of a chance to heat up. And I think it's about now I realise that my mic isn't on, and I'm thinking to myself, Trish, you idiot. Okay, so we'll just get this big pot over onto the stove. Oh, it's quite heavy, that, actually. And we're just going to heat this. It doesn't have to be boiling, but I just want it to heat up, just to separate a wee bit. And you can see how thick that is. Probably wouldn't be the best for you, mango chutney, with the amount of sugar and all's in it, but I say we love it in curries. So I'm just going to let this sit and keep stirring it. I'll put it on a medium heat there until it heats up well. Okay, so this has been sitting on for quite a while, and I just keep stirring it, just like a jam. There's a high proportion of sugar in there. You don't want it to catch in the bottom. So just keep it moving. And I was just checking the ingredients on this. So basically all's in this is sugar, 48%, believe it or not. Mango, 47%. There's salt in it, red chili powder, garlic, and acetic acid. So it's pretty safe to recan. So basically anything that you buy in bulk, if there's a water bath recipe for it, you could recan. Tomato products, I would check with a pH strip. That's over the 4.6 has to be pressure canned. That would be low acid. That's getting actually quite loose there. You can feel it. Heating it up, loosened it up a good bit. So it'll be easier to get in the jars as well. I just want to bring it up to like a simmer, just because my jars are hot as well. So I'll keep on stirring this until I get it to the right temperature I want, just without it scorching. It's not the sort of thing you want to leave sitting on, because it would catch very easy to the bottom, and then it would turn bitter. And the more you heat it, the thinner it's getting. And feel it, it's easier to stir. Just while we're waiting, these are the wee pH strips I was talking about. So basically it's a little booklet like this, and you have your litmus paper here. I'm going to turn that down a little. So, and your indicators here. So from here the colour scales change drastically. That would be for low acid foods, and the brighter the colours, these are all very acidy. So we'll do a wee test just to see and show you how that works. I just don't want this to catch in the bottom. So basically with this, all you do is detach one of your litmus. So pull your litmus paper off and just dip it down in to the sauce. Give it a wee shake, and immediately that should start changing colour. And if you put it on the colour scale, so you would match it to whatever colour is closest, and I reckon that's a 3 or a 4. I'll dry it a wee bit darker, but if it was over here and in a yellow colour, or if it was this colour, so that's getting really dark, so we're saying a 4, you would have to pressure can in this range. So I'm happy enough that that's safe to steam can. So bring this over to the bench and we'll get this jarred up. So and I don't know what that is, but it looks like the rim around the plastic top. I'm so glad I found that. Wouldn't want that on it. Okay, so I'm just going to lift my jars out. I've had them in this oven, sitting at 100 degrees. They're going to be nice and warm. So you don't want to put your jars directly onto a cold surface, guys, or you would shock them. You would shock the life out of them. So I just use this old towel. It's got holes and all in it. You see the holes and all in it, but I use it for canning. So, and I've got a variety of jars here, all different sizes, and they're going to be too hot for me. So I want a majority of them this size. Oops, they're hot. And you can see some's got the labels and all on, but they're absolutely fine. And I only had this like regular mouth funnel, and my partner took, this is another can or wee funnel I said I had. He just cut the funnel bit off the bottom, so I can actually use it for smaller jars. And I need a 1/2 inch head space with this, so just give it a stir so you're getting a bit of everything. And bring that over a wee bit more. And I need to leave a 1/2 inch headspace, which is quite hard to see with that paper on, but this will come off the cannon. And I've got a plate here just to set my funnel on, because that's going to be quite sticky. And I can already know by looking at that, it needs a tiny bit more in. And we want a 1/2 inch head space, so you just use your little spacer tool, and 1/2 inch is to there. So I put that on the top of the jar, and from that to that's 1/2 inch. You can see. So put your 1/2 inch on, and it should just be touching the top of the food, which I'm happy enough for that. I take a slight wee bit out, just to be on the safe side. And just take a little bit out. And you always want to debubble. Clean that off. Check your headspace again. And would you believe it or not, that's gone down too much, so put a little bit in. This is what I love about canning. Okay. So 1/2 inch again. And that's perfect there. And I've just got a little bowl there just with some vinegar in it, and squeeze it out and give the top of your jars a wipe. And that's actually coming off there with being in the oven, which is good. And pop my little lid on. And with these store-bought jars, you want to try and get your lid on as tight as you can. It's not like a 2-piece, which are finger tight. these actually screw down. And I'm just going to pop this one into the canner. Get the next one done. And I've got some bigger jars here as well in case I want to gift some of this. So a little bit more. I must say his little funnel is working well. Only my eyesight isn't great today, so but and they say I've got asbestos fingers. Just check your headspace, which should be 1/2 inch, which that one is, and just run the debubbler through it. Scrape all that off and check it again, which is fine, and clean it with the cloth with vinegar because that's so sticky. And pop my lid on tight, and the canner goes. Okay, so you've got the general idea, so I'm going to get the rest of these filled and then I'll be back. That was literally the last one, went into the canner there. So I'll just show you what they're like in there. They're all different sizes, but none bigger than a pint. The book says 10 minutes for 1/2 pint or pint, so I'm happy enough that 10 minutes will be sufficient for this. So what I'm going to do now is, and that's just sitting, it's just hot. I don't even need to put any vinegar or anything in there, so I'm just going to line my arrows up, push down and clamp the lid shut, and I'm going to turn my heat up to medium high, and shouldn't take long until this starts to boil. And once it comes up to a boil, it'll start pushing steam up, and this little lock switch will lock. I'm not putting any weight on here. There's no weight going on. This is steam cannon using this Presto. So I'll bring you back at that stage. So just forget about this, guys. You're not using a gauge. You're using this as a steam canner. And it shouldn't take it very long. So once it starts to come up the steam, I'll bring you back. Okay, so just while that's waiting, I'll get this mess all cleared up. Actually wasn't one of my most favourite things to be working with. It's all really sticky, but that's the sacrifice you make whenever you want to do something like this. So I'm just going to see if I can scrape the rest of this with the wee scraper. And this little bit that was left will do in the fridge. I'll say it's so sticky that. Good job you don't eat curry weekly, having that in it. I think your sugars be sky high, but anyway. This isn't going to be processed. This one's just going straight back in the fridge, and I can feel that getting really hard already. So it's coming back, setting with the sugar and stuff in it, and that acid that's in it. It's wanting to form back into its original state before I heated it. So just scrape all that's left down into this wee pot. And that little funnel that my good man resized for me. It's actually worked fine. I'm just going to buy another one, but in all honesty, I usually work with bigger jars, and this has worked absolutely fine. I wouldn't be using that big funnel for much anyway, so I didn't mind a bit getting cut off it. And he's always willing to help keep me happy. Okay, so that's all that out of that. And we'll just scrape that down in as well. You should know me by now, guys. I don't like wasting anything. So scrape everything down. And that's that all done. I didn't use this one, so I can go back in the cupboard and just grab my lid. And that's cooled down enough, so this one will go in the fridge just for us to use, and I know exactly what's in it. Let's give it a clean with that vinegar cloth. And you can see where I messed all over this. Good job of putting a load of washing on. And just want to show you the litmus paper, how much colour it's dried out. So remember we stuck this into so it's definitely a 3 or a 4. You can see that. It's the colour it's dried out for that mango. I would say between 3 and 4. So it's definitely safe to recan or water bath or steam can. So you could just buy these off Amazon. I got little packs of them. Whenever I was doing my research at the start, a self-taught canner, so just a lot of videos on the internet and a lot of research, and got onto the habit of these little strips. I don't need that anymore, so I can go in the bin. Okay, so I'll get my mess tidied up here and I'll bring you back once the canner starts to put out some steam. She's starting to come up to a good steam coming out there, so not doing anything, not timing for 10 minutes or anything like that. I'm just going to wait until this lock switch pops up, which means that the canner is full of steam and it will lock itself in place, and it's only whenever that locks in place that I will set a timer for 10 minutes. If this little lock switch pops down at any stage, then I would have to start reprocess all over again. So that's basically how easy it is to use your Presto as a steam canner. And I love not having big pots of water. A lot of people love water bathing, but I just prefer this method. It's everybody to their own right. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with water bathing. There's millions of people, but I just prefer to do this steam cannon type. And because there's 3 litres of water in this and I'm using it as a steam canner, I wouldn't be running anything over 45 minutes, 40 to 45 minutes, because there would be a chance that you could run dry. So this is only going to go for 10 minutes, so that's not going to be the case here. So just keep your temperature up at this stage. You see all the steam coming out there, and the steam coming out here. That little lock's trying to push itself up now, so it's actually under steam pressure. And this is the smaller Presto, by the way. This is the 16 quart. I've got this one and I've got the 23 quart as well. So if I was doing double layers, I would have used the other one and just used the dividing rack. Obviously this one comes up to pressure a lot quicker because it's a lot smaller. But I love the two of them. And just if anybody's watching this video, I just want to get this popping up. Could somebody please tell me what they use to take all the deposit off around the pipe there, just here, all this brown stuff? I don't want to use a scouring pad or anything else. I rub it just with like dishwashing soap and a cloth, but it's not lifting it, and I don't want to damage the top of my canner. So anybody knows what to use on that or how to get all that off, if you leave me a wee comment, I would much appreciate it. And you can see a lot more steam coming out of this. So this is trying to actually push it out. There we go now. So that's locked in place, and you can adjust your steam at this, or your heating at this time, so it's not putting out this rigorous event. But I'll actually turn it down just slightly. And Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes, please. And I also check the clock, so it's 1 minute past 2, just in case the electric goes off, so I know exactly. And this is on gas, so I won't miss the timer. And as I say, use this as a steam canner, but make sure your safety valve doesn't drop, which means that the pressure in the water, the heat of the water has gone down and it's not producing enough steam. So that would be a no-no. Alright. So I don't need to adjust that because we're basically only doing 10 minutes here. Alright. I'll bring you back whenever the 10 minutes is up. I went ahead and got just a tray with of double towel on it. Got 2 of these to lift the jars out onto, because no doubt we'll be looking at the table later on, and I'll let them sit undisturbed for a good while here, and then later on when we're looking at the table, we'll be able to lift them. And you don't want to be opening your doors or letting any drafts near them. And that's the timer going off, so that's our 10 minutes up, and I just check the clock and it's perfect. So all you do now is turn the heat off. I'll just turn it off here. Alexa, off please. And you can hear that stopping almost immediately. You hear the bits, the jars rattling about in there a little bit, but not a lot. So I'm going to let this sit now to cool down until the lock switch drops, and after it's dropped, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it sit for 5 minutes. And Alexa, set a timer for 5 minutes please.
5 minutes, starting now.
And after the 5 minutes, I'll unlock the handles and set another timer for 5 minutes before I lift the lid off. And at that stage, I'll be back. That's the 5 minute timer's gone off, so I'm just going to part the handles and set a timer for another 5 minutes before I actually lift the lid off. Alexa, set a timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Just time for me to enjoy a coffee. Or my little sheep mug, which everybody seems to like. It's so cute. Got this off an old friend of mine. He's actually passed away now, God rest her. Missed every day. That would be her. Crazy. My best friend. Okay, so bring you back whenever this alarm goes off again. Alexa, off. So that's the second 5 minute timer gone off there. So I'm just going to lift the lid off gently, and everyone knows to lift the lid away from yourself. You don't want to get a face full of steam, and that would burn. Just get rid of the lid. And now we can go ahead and lift these out. pretty good. It's the first one. Straight down onto dry cloth. And it's great to get these canned up and them not to be taking room up. That big jar in my fridge. And if my brother or anyone's looking for mango chutney, they just have to send an SOS round here and they'll get their mango chutney. And don't want to put them too close together. Excuse me. And those little jars with the paper doesn't look very aesthetic looking, but as long as the insides are completely clean and these all seal, then that's what matters. And the water's as clear as when they went in. So, and these are all supermarket shelf jars. And the last two, a little tiny one. And a salsa jar. So all these jars all have the suction caps that you would see on the regular supermarket. So if you lifted a jar of this off the supermarket shelf and the buttons were up the way they are at the minute, you would know not to be buying that. It actually says on them, reject if center button clicks when pressed. So they're actually putting warnings on the lids as well. So if you went into the supermarket and pressed that and that little bubble on the top was going up and down, that jar's not sealed. So I'll let these sit and they'll start pinging, because once it start to cool down, when it's dissipating, we'll pull the suction cap down and hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll all seal. You can see it here. They're all suction cap. And once these have all cooled, I'll bring you back and I'll show you exactly how you can make sure 100% that these are all sealed. Okay guys, so I just moved these into the back room last night off the table. So this is our mango chutney, and the easiest way for me to check to make sure they've sealed, because they're these supermarket shelf jars with the little push down hob, is just to, I put a ruler on top, and if I can get paper under there, it's definitely sealed. There's no button up in the air there, okay? And these are definitely all sealed. Oops, apart from that one. You just heard that. That just popped there on now on me, so that one is not sealed. That one will be staying in the fridge. So I'll make sure that one's kept out of the way. And sealed. Yep, so those can get put away. These ones are all sealed, so I don't even have to wash these because they're not sticky or anything. So I'll just write on the sides of them mango chutney and the month and the year, and these will go back into the back store. These two that didn't seal, I'm actually going to reprocess these. There's no need for me to have this much, and nobody's looking for any chutney off me at the minute, so all I'm going to do is to take the lids off again, clean the lids in warm soapy water, make sure I clean the top of the jars really well, and I'll water bath these two just to see if I can get them to seal okay. No point in having that much sitting when nobody's going to be looking for it, so that's what happens sometimes. But I'm happy that the majority of those have all, these slat have all sealed and they're fine. So there you go. I don't have a big bucket of mango chutney in my fridge anymore. Alright guys, hope you liked this wee video. As usual, give me the thumbs up please. Doesn't cost anything, just hit the thumbs up button and it helps my wee channel out. Alright, you have a great day and I'll see you all in my next video, and thanks again for watching. Bye bye.